Welcome back gamers to another review. Today's title is Slug Tactics, a bold take on the classic arcade shooter that brings Marco and the gang into the world of turn-based strategy. Slug Tactics takes what you know and love about the original run and gun gameplay, and then reinterprets it into a strategy RPG. But let's get this out of the way. This is also a roguelike, which means that instead of a long linear campaign, you're getting randomized self-contained runs with every battle in high stakes. And each time you set out, you select 3 characters from the roster of fan favorites, Marco, Tarma, Theo and others, and deploy them in grid-based combat. And in each mission you'll work through an asymmetric grid, moving characters into cover, firing in cardinal directions, and completing objectives that range from taking out enemies to more unique objective-based goals. And this roguelike twist means that your squad starts relatively underpowered, and you'll have to earn and collect new perks, abilities and special ammo as you go. It's a game that's designed to keep you on edge, making you feel like every move and every shot matters. And the catch? Each time you die, it's back to the start, forcing you to build up new strategies as you play different regions. And what stands out the most for me is the sync shot system. It's a clever addition that gives you an extra hit if 2 characters have line of sight on the same enemy, which forces you to think about the positioning and encourages more aggressive tactics, which for me felt right at home in the Metal Slug world. And this sync shot can turn into a tide of tricky situations, as it adds that touch of unpredictability that makes each battle unique. That said, not all the design choices feel intuitive. It's a strange twist. If you decide to attack before moving, you forfeit your movement altogether. It's a mechanic that feels at odds with the game's emphasis on aggressive play, and it can end up feeling restrictive, especially when it means missing out on potential sync shots or leaving yourself exposed to enemies. Now moving on to its difficulty, because this game does not go easy on you. In the very first few hours of this game are brutal, especially since your squad starts off underpowered and with limited abilities, so until you unlock more adrenaline abilities and powerful weapons, you're at a disadvantage, and often running out of special weapon ammo or struggling through battles that seem stacked against you. And unlike a fast-paced roguelike where you can get back into action quickly, here each mission can take about 5 to 10 minutes, which makes repetitive grind feel more tiring when you have to replay battles just to get back on track. And the boss battles in this game crank up the difficulty even more, by testing your strategic thinking with unskippable intro cutscenes and powerful attacks that force you to either take cover or take a risk. The game's roguelike progression feels satisfying once you get the hang of it, but it's definitely not beginner friendly. It might be frustrating for some new players. Now moving on to where this game truly shines, its visuals and presentation, as Lakir Studio clearly put a lot of love into capturing the Metal Slug aesthetic. The pixel art in this game is vibrant in detail and full of personality, and the character animations and the environments feel straight out of a high quality animated sprite sheet. Every time you fire off a sync shot or dodge an attack, it's like you're back in that classic arcade, feeling an adrenaline as you nearly avoid enemy fire. And the soundtrack, composed by T. Lopez, injects just the right amount of energy, with tracks that manage to feel both modern and nostalgic, and the audio design is stellar. And honestly, the only letdown of the visual front is the game's UI, as the text size is tiny, especially on the handheld mode, which makes reading items descriptions and tutorial tips a chore. For me, Slug Tactics is a game with heart. It's clear that the developers are fans of the series and that they're committed to doing something different while still respecting the spirit of Metal Slug. The tactical gameplay, roguelike progression, and the retro-inspired visuals are definitely impressive, and there's a unique satisfaction in syncing up attacks and outsmarting enemies. For me, this game's an 8 out of 10. If you're a fan of Metal Slug or a fan of RPGs, this is a game I can easily recommend to you. If you've played it, did you like it? Would you recommend it? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching till the end. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And have a great day.